All right, everybody. Hello, hello. Can't believe it's almost the end of March. So this year is gone by really fast. So I am hoping that everybody is having a fantastic 2025 to first quarter is almost done. So here we go. If you are watching this, please give me some comments, give me a like. Don't forget to subscribe as well if you're watching this on YouTube. So here's the thing. Um, these recordings will only be available on Facebook for about 30 days. And after that, it's gone. I don't know what they do with it. So if you missed this one but want to watch it again, it is available on YouTube. So you can always find these weekly sessions available on YouTube as well. So let's get going here. We've got a couple of things to go through today, which is super exciting. And, like the title is, if you understand this one thing, okay, it will help you close your next deal. So I was going through a coaching session yesterday, and my client said, Hung, I don't know where to get extra money. The banks seem to be closed to me. You, on the other hand, seem to know how to get money. Like you have access to something that I don't have. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today. Okay, so my name is Hung Lu. I am with Cash Property. We are March the 24th, 2025. So, I'm doing these sessions. I don't get paid for them. So just to let you know that. So please, if you are watching this, please do give me a like. Okay, so at the end of these sessions, what I'm hoping is that you will have some sort of actionable item that you can take to understand your next opportunity so that you can grow your family net worth, right? Get the cash flow, get that financial freedom that you want. So it's really just to help everybody out there. Okay, now before you go and run off and implement what I'm about to show you, please go and check with another investor, check with some other people in the industry. So and if you don't have somebody, like when I started out in real estate, I didn't really have anybody. I didn't have a network of people that I could go to. So let me share with you a couple of groups and couple of events that are happening where you can go and ask questions and get other people's input. Okay, so the first one is to our sponsor. So let me bring that up. So our sponsor today is CHW Flooring. They are a local company in in Burnaby, BC. So if you are looking at doing renovations, they don't just do flooring, they do other things as well, but flooring is one of their specialties. Okay, so if you are looking for competitive wholesaling flooring products, this is one of the places to go to. And when you're there, you can ask them, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about doing this idea. What do you think? Okay, so CHW Flooring, they've got their pricing, their products, contact list, and they are fluent in English, but they are super fluent in Chinese as well. Okay, the next one is the Edmonton Real Estate Investors Group. So they have their next session coming up in April. Okay, so if you are in Edmonton and you're local to it, please go and check these guys out. You will meet at least 20 to 40, maybe 60 people in person, and you can ask them, fellow investors, um, people who are in the industry providing services for investors. They will be there. You get to meet them, connect with them, ask them questions, and they always have super amazing speakers. So the next event coming up for these guys is April the 9th. Oh, I wish I was there. Arlen is super amazing. Okay, so this is on Meetup. So just go there. It's a free membership to sign up to Meetup, but then the event does cost a little bit. But just think, if you go there and you make one idea and that idea gets you $1 million, it's well worth the $25, okay? And of course, the ticket price is a tax deductible expense against any of your real estate investment opportunities or business opportunities. So just remember that, okay? Okay, so the next one is if you're local to Vancouver, there's an event coming up. Okay, so the first one is linked. There's two events combined together. This one is an accountability and mentorship program this Thursday at the August Brew. Okay, following this coaching session, stick around for the main keynote speaker, and Billy is going to be speaking about mindset. I don't care how long you've been in real estate or how super fantastic you are at abundance and mindset and all that stuff, and how happy you are in life, there's always something that you can improve in your mindset. Okay. We all have different money stories. We all have different fears. Okay. And Billy is a great contact for that. So this is one of those events as well. Okay. You pay $20 to come in, meet 20, 30 different investors. Okay. Well worth the price. And on top of that, you get to write it off as a business expense. Okay. So if you also need the mentorship and the accountability, there's a session just before that as well. Okay. One last one. Who else can you go and ask to part of your due diligence process? Okay, so I am a leader in a community leader with REN, the Women's Real Estate Network. This is, so I'm in Vancouver, so I'm part of the Vancouver group. So this week coming up, we have a members connect. So that is one of the events. So if you are not a member, okay, just sign up and become a member and then slowly get to know us and ask all of your real estate questions in there. Okay, so these are our sponsors for today's episode. So thank you very much, everybody, for listening, watching, and supporting. Definitely give some feedback because, of course, the sponsorship is based on contacts and engagement. All right, so I will stop with that. All right, so let's get into the one thing. And if you know this one concept, it will definitely help you close a lot of opportunities. Okay, and what is that one thing? Okay, well, if you stuck with me for about this 5 minutes, it will be worth the time. Okay, so let me share with you the Excel sheet and we will go through it. Okay, so this one thing is the concept of vendor take back. Seller financing. Okay. If you're in real estate, you probably, like if you're a seasoned real estate investor, you understand this concept already. Okay. But it doesn't hurt to get a refresher and it doesn't hurt to make sure that you understand the numbers on this. Okay. So I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Now, here's the thing. I'm going to stop the share again. Sorry for one second here. So one of the feedback that I got from these sessions is that, hey, Hong, you know what? You actually go quite fast on your Excel sheets. And we don't know how to build out our Excel sheets. So, we're sort of a little bit lost sometimes when you go through your calculations. That is absolutely understandable because here's the thing. I have an engineering background, and so Excel is like I sleep, eat, and breathe Excel in real estate. So here's the thing. If you are finding these sessions a little bit difficult to follow, if you want help building out your sheets, if you want help analyzing, here's a program that I offer. It is super affordable. Okay, check it out. It is a breakthrough analysis paralysis coaching program. You meet with me and a group of other people, and we go through an Excel sheet, cell by cell, formula by formula. Okay. We don't leave anybody behind on these coaching sessions. Okay. So if you want to, like, if you're stuck and you want to learn how to go through the Excel sheets, all the Excel sheets that I go through on these calls, we go through them in these live coaching sessions. Okay. Sign up and you will be part of the next coaching session. Okay. So let's go into this one here. This one is about seller financing, vendor take back. And here's the thing. If you understand VTB, you will be able to close your next opportunity hands down. Because here's the thing. VTB is that access to money, that secret door, the bank, okay, that you have access to. Everybody has access to this, and you don't really need to, like, as long as you know the verbiage behind it, and as long as you know how to sell, promote this VTB concept to the agents and to the seller, you'll be able to close your next deal. Okay, so here's the thing. So I don't remember why I have 2.6 down here on a purchase price. Okay, so I must have been running some opportunity and it was at $2.7 million. Okay, so I'm putting down that I'm going to get a 25% vendor take back. That means that the seller is going to agree to hold a second position mortgage of 25%, which is equivalent to $672,000. Okay, understand that. So that means I don't have to have $672,000. I don't have to go into the bank and get this amount in extra money to buy the opportunity. Okay, so 268,000, 200, sorry, 2 million. So I take the 2 million times my 25% for the VTB, that gives me $672,000. Okay, the VTB, this is the seller. He's going to hold this mortgage for me. So in reality, what I need to qualify for in terms of a mortgage is going to be around just over $2 million. Okay. Now let's just say I come in here with a down payment of 40%. Okay. So I must have been running a situation where we really needed a higher down payment. As an investor, as somebody who's coming in, we want 5%, 10, 20% at the most. Okay. That's fine for the down payment. So I'm just follow me here for a second. Okay. While we go through this. So if the down payment is 40%, that means now I only need to get a down payment based on the 2 million, not the 2.6. Okay. So that is a huge difference. Okay. So let me just figure out that number here for you. So if I just go 2.6 times my 40%, okay, that's just over 1 million. That is a $200,000 difference in down payment money that I need. Okay, just think about that. You now don't need to come up with a down payment of 1 million. You just need 800,000. Okay, that is a huge difference because this vendor, the seller, is going to hold 672 of that. Okay, so at the end of the day, the mortgage that I'm going to need is 1.2 million. That means I just have to go to the bank and I have to qualify for 1.2 million. Okay, that is a huge difference. Okay, so compared to what if there was no vendor take back in that situation, I would need to qualify for 1.6 million. Okay, so that basically saves me about $400,000 in a mortgage. Okay, super fantastic way. So if you can structure your next offering to include a VTB, look at doing that. Okay, so if you understand that, that is fantastic. So now, what do the numbers look like? Okay, so that's what we're going to go through right now. Okay, so over here we have a situation, okay, where we are, okay, so I'm going to go over to this side here. Okay, and I'm going to get rid of this crossbar because what I do is when I look at my opportunities, I run through different scenarios, and then the ones that just don't work, we just cross them through, or if there's an error, we cross them through. Okay, so in this scenario, I was running the mortgage amount because I wanted to figure out, hey, you know what? Is the VTB on the purchase price? Or is it on the purchase price minus the vendor take back? Okay, so am I getting a mortgage based on the 2.6, or am I getting a mortgage in this scenario on just the 2 million? Okay, the answer is that your mortgage is now going to be based on the purchase price less the vendor take back. Okay, so this first scenario is incorrect. Okay, so just understand, and there's a huge benefit for that because otherwise you would have to go and have a bigger down payment. And we don't want that. The whole point of having a vendor take back is to reduce the down payment as much as possible. Okay. It's not about the mortgage amount at the end of the day. Okay. So for example, like because we're putting in a bigger down payment in this scenario one, because we're putting down a bigger down payment, our mortgage amount, our mortgage loan would be less. Okay. And that's fine. But at the end of the day, as an investor, we want to leverage the bank's money because it's relatively cheap compared to lost opportunity costs. So for example, like if we did scenario two, there's a $200,000 difference here. I can take that 200,000 and put it into another property. So in essence, I get two properties. Okay. So don't look at scenario one. Scenario one is a wrong calculation. So what we're going to do is look at this one here. So we're going to get 40%. We're going to put a 40% down payment based on the $2 million, which is the purchase price less the vendor take back. Okay. So the mortgage that we're going to get is $1.2 million. Perfect. Okay. So now, of course, because we are in the world of interest, okay, payments, we need to look at what the debt servicing is going to be on this. How much is it going to cost us to have this vendor take back and to have a reduced down payment and potentially have, a different slightly mortgage one. So just also a big shout out to Yusuf overseas. Yusuf is one of my mentors, and we sat down and went through a business opportunity. And Yusuf basically said, Hong, I don't understand your world of interest because we don't do interest payments. We don't do mortgages. Okay, so imagine coming from a world where there's no interest, no mortgages, no nothing, no debt servicing. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so Yusuf, if you're watching, thank you so much for the time that you gave me, and I really appreciate you and the knowledge that you gave me. So thank you for that. Okay, so let's keep going here. So here's the vendor take back servicing. Okay, so based on this scenario here, okay, what we wanted to do was just calculate what is the vendor take back. Okay, and oh, sorry. So these cells here, what I was doing here was I was running a scenario saying, yeah, you know what? They're asking 2.6, but what if I came in and I offered a little bit less? Okay. It's fine if you pay the asking price, but what if you could get a little off? Okay. So that is one of the things that we always look at too is, okay, well, if we came in with a little bit less, how does the financing work on that? Okay. So we'll run through that scenario. Okay, so in this case, we're getting a vendor take back of $672,000. And let's just say we get the vendor to agree to a 5% interest rate. Okay, that means every single month, we're going to pay $2,800 in interest. Now, you can structure that however you want. Okay, but just keep in mind that there's a cost to borrowing this money from the seller. So they're going to make $33,000 a year. So this 33,000 is just the 672,000 times your 5% for the 33,000. Divide that by 12, that gives me my $2,800 per month. Okay, great. Now, it's not just the vendor take back interest that you have to pay. You have to pay interest on your mortgage. So here we're getting a mortgage of $1.2 million. Okay, so let me just make sure that that was taking the right amount. Yeah, so it's 40% of the 2 million. So this is after the vendor take back. And so then the mortgage amount that I'm going to have is $1.2 million. Okay, so based on that $1.2 million, a 5% rate and a 50-year amortization, your monthly mortgage payment is going to be 5,400, let's just say $5,500. Okay, so in total, you're paying about $8,300. That's how much it's going to take for you to debt service this property based on the mortgage from the bank and from the vendor take back. Now, how did I calculate this mortgage number? Okay, it's just a formula in Excel. You just take your rate, your amortization, and your principal amount, and that's it. It spits out a formula for you. Okay, so it's a PMT formula. Okay, $8,300. Okay, so now let's go to scenario 2, which is this one here. Okay, and this one is based on, let's just say that we're able to get a 5% down payment. Okay, and if you're going to go through CMHC or something like that, this is a very realistic number if you can qualify for it. Okay, so 5% down payment. So you need $100,000 because the vendor is going to give you $672,000 in a vendor take back mortgage. So if you are an investor and you have $100,000, you could buy a $2.7 million multifamily building. Okay, let that sink in. If you have $100,000, you can buy a $2.7 million building. Okay, that just gives me chills. Okay, whenever I say that. Okay, so you're gonna get a $1.9 million mortgage, okay? And the way to calculate that is the same thing. You take your 2.7 minus your VTB amount, then you times it by your down payment to give you your down payment number. The difference of the purchase price minus your VTB minus your down payment is the mortgage that you will be taking from the bank. Okay. If you cannot qualify for this mortgage, reach out to me. Seriously, connect with me on my breakthrough analysis paralysis. Okay. Connect with me and I will show you how to qualify for something like this. Okay. So now let's get into the debt servicing of this because, of course, we have to pay interest on this. So the VTB is 5%. So every single month, you're going to be paying about 2,800. Okay. That has not changed at all. Okay, from the scenario that we just ran. What will change is the mortgage amount because you have a higher mortgage amount, higher loan amount from the bank. Okay, so instead of let's see here. So the mortgage is 1.9 compared to 1.2. Okay, that is huge. That is a $700,000 difference. Okay, so because of that difference in $700,000, you're going to be paying $8,700 a month in a mortgage. Okay, so you have to make sure that your numbers will allow you to carry the 8,700 plus the 2,800 from the VTB for a total of $11,500 a month. Okay, so that is where understanding the numbers really makes sense. So if you're NOI on this $2.7 million building is over 11.5, it might make sense for you to acquire this property. Okay. Another way to look at it is this VTB and this mortgage is temporary, meaning that if you can force appreciate this $2.6 million building into, let's say, a $5 million building in 1 year, it might make sense for you to carry this at break even or even a little bit of a loss, okay, to be able to force appreciate this building and then completely flip the cash flow situation in a short period of time. Okay, so that is the debt servicing on a VTB. So now if you can understand the numbers behind it, you're doing super fantastic. Okay, now we have one more scenario to run through. This is where we are offering a slightly less amount to the seller. Okay, how does that change the numbers? Okay, so here we're at the 40% down payment. Okay, so you see here, it's a $500 difference. Okay, so by decreasing your purchase price, you're offering, you can actually decrease the debt servicing. Okay, your vendor take back price changes a little bit. And because your overall mortgage loan from the bank decreases as well, that decreases your monthly payment as well. Okay, so it has a ripple effect in every aspect of your calculation. So something really, really good to keep in mind is that if you can get a VTB and negotiate a price reduction, two very great strategies there. Okay, so now let's run through the situation where you only have a 5% down. So you're going to get the 25% vendor take back and 5% down. So this scenario is let's see here. It is the same as scenario 2, but instead of the 2.7 million, you're only paying 2.5. So your mortgage loan amount is going to be different. It's almost $150,000 difference here, which is huge. Okay, so now you're going to get the mortgage loan of 1.76. Okay, at 5% down payment, you need less than $100,000. Just think, if you have $100,000, you can buy this building. Okay, still gives me chills. Okay, so how does that affect your total debt servicing? Okay, so the same calculation again, but now look at this. Instead of 11.5, your debt servicing is 10.5. It's gone down by $1,000 a month. Okay, that is huge. Okay, so That is all I've got for you guys today, right on the dot, 11 a.m. So thank you so very much, everybody, for watching. And just a reminder, if you are needing support on running your due diligence, please check out the breakthrough analysis paralysis, and don't hesitate to join these real estate groups. Okay, this wealth development network group, which is happening this Thursday in Vancouver. That is a super fantastic event to attend. I will be there, and you can ask me a couple questions, connect with me. This AREA group, when I lived in Edmonton and did my real estate stuff there, this was one of the groups that I joined, and so super happy that I did, because the contacts that I made there, I still connect with them. Okay, and we're talking, over 5 years ago. Okay, the ladies group, you don't have to be a lady to join this group. We do have men in this group as well. Okay, and lastly, to our sponsor, okay, CHW Flooring. Thank you so very much for being a sponsor and supporting my work on this. Thank you. All right, other than that, thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy the rest of your March break if you are on March break. All right, thanks, everybody. Have a great day.